Hi, I'm David for AndroidPIT and I want to talk to you about the OPPO Find X. After testing it, I can tell you that in addition to being one of the most original smartphones of 2018, thanks largely to its retractable camera module, the Chinese flagship is more than a gimmick. With the Find X, OPPO has tried to reinvent the concept of the smartphone. The device is made of curved glass, Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back, and it's held together by a thin metal frame. On the front panel, the edges around the screen are almost non-existent, resulting in a screen-to-body ratio of 93.8%, and there's no notch. The front panel is completely occupied by the panoramic art display, but the main surprise here is hidden in the top of the phone. When you turn on your Find X and launch the camera app, the camera slides out of the top. The moving module houses a dual camera with an LED flash in the middle and, on the front, another camera for selfies. It can also be used to unlock the phone through facial recognition. With the screen off, the Find X is reminiscent of Samsung's Galaxy S line. As for the dimensions, this thing is 156.7 by 74.2 by 9.4 millimeters and weighs 186 grams. Like all devices made of glass, it attracts fingerprints on the body and has a tendency to slip when resting on smooth surfaces. Along the bottom edge, next to the Type-C USB port, there's a slot that allows you to insert 2 nano SIM cards. MicroSD is not supported and there's no headphone jack or IP certification against dust and water. The Find X does not offer a fingerprint scanner and instead relies on a 3D face reader integrated into the pop-up camera. By default, the swipe up gesture is active, but it's much easier to trigger the unlock sequence by pressing the power button. The facial recognition is similar to the one used by Apple. Thanks to the advanced 3D structured light technology, it projects 15,000 points on the user's face, creating a complete 3D model that compares with the one that's authorized, and it works almost flawlessly on the Find X. The Find X features a 6.42-inch OLED screen with a 19.6 by 9 aspect ratio. It is curved on the edges and features 401 ppi Full HD Plus resolution. The Find X screen performs well in terms of color reproduction and offers some features dedicated to curved edges, as well as an always-on display and the ability to illuminate the edges when receiving notifications and calls. The Find X comes with ColorOS 5.1 based on Android 8.1 Oreo. The security patches are updated to May 5th. OPPO's is a highly customized interface and the international model comes with integrated Google services, including the Pay Store. You won't find too many pre-installed apps or bloatware or even an app drawer. All apps are displayed on the home screen. You can navigate through the system using gestures that you will have to get used to, or abandon them and return to the classic navigation keys. I found the integrated Intelligent Assistant handy, which optimizes resource management and provides personalized information with a swipe from left to right. On the Find X, you'll find useful functions such as Clone App to use 2 social media accounts at the same time, Game Space for an optimized and distraction-free gaming experience, Split Screen App, Private Security, Children's Space, and a Protect Personal Information feature which provides empty information to apps that try to read your data, such as history, contacts, messages, and calendar events. There's also a built-in phone manager that's very similar to the one on Huawei devices. Overall, I found ColorOS fluid, fast and pleasant to use, but there are still some points to improve. Some menu items are not translated correctly, notifications can't be deleted with a quick swipe, and then there is a system problem that limits the arrival of notifications to just 5 applications. The hardware components of the OPPO Find X are what you'd expect from a 2018 flagship. Snapdragon 845 Adreno 630 GPUs run inside the device alongside 8GB of RAM and up to 250GB of internal memory. Everything runs smoothly on the Find X. On Geekbench, the Find X came in a bit lower than other flagships equipped with Snapdragon 845s and the Exynos 9810 of the S9, but it took over the Kirin 970 in a Huawei P20 Pro and the older Snapdragon 835 integrated in the Pixel 2 XL, as you'd expect. On paper, you can see some differences with the Exynos 9810, especially in terms of graphical performance, but that is redeemed in those pass mark scores where the Chinese flagship competes even with the Note 9. Although a stereo speaker is missing on the Find X, the volume is loud and the sound is clear. It's a shame, however, that the speaker is positioned on the left-hand side. It's easy to cover up with your hand. The photo compartment consists of 2 RGB sensors of 20 megapixels and 16 megapixels with f/2.0 aperture. On the front is a 25 megapixel lens with f/2.0 aperture and a Sony IMX576 sensor. To optimize the photo experience, AI is able to recognize frame scenarios and adapt the settings accordingly. The retractable mechanism does not slow down the user experience, but it does complicate how you grip the device when taking a picture in landscape mode. On the Find X, you will find the classic modes for shooting: time-lapse, video, photo, portrait, adhesive, overview, and expert, in addition to the Omoji, OPPO's response to Apple's Animoji. The The photos I took during the day were sharp, rich in detail, and characterized by good contrasts. The representation of the colors is really good. Indoor shots under artificial light or in the evening are affected by a lack of light. Less detail and photographic noise appear in the photos from time to time. As for video, the Find X allows you to shoot in 4K and 1080p at 30 frames per second. You can have fun with the slow motion mode in 720 or 1080p, but there's no super slow-mo here. The Find X packs a 3750 mAh battery, which on testing achieved 8 hours and 17 minutes of juice. With intensive use, you can get a day out of this thing. With more moderate use, 2 days should not be a problem. For those who know OPPO, the VOOC quick charging means that in an hour and a half you can charge the Find X from 15% to 100%. But forget about wireless charging, it's not supported. The OPPO Find X supports Assistant, Google Lens, and introduces an innovative retractable camera. Overall, the Find X is a true flagship, but with some, not major, flaws. Finally, something new in the world of smartphones, an interesting design and a datasheet that can compete with anything at the top of the range in 2018. The software, which has been one of the main concerns, has improved, but OPPO still has some work to do there. The biggest issue though is the price. At $999, this thing is expensive. If you like this video, leave us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the AndroidPIT channel.